It's been going on for years and years and years. Troy Deeney there saying on talkSPORT it's not frowned upon anymore. This is, I think this is a really pivotal moment in the diving debate. And Dean, this thing about English players arguably being worse than foreign players, I think will shock a lot of people, but I think you might have got this one right, mate.
Worse or better? Because I know you talked about Mo Salah and how he's gone to ground. And personally, I think that it's just so obvious. Because the way he throws his arms in the air, to me, that it's just so obvious when he's gone down without any real contact because of that. And I feel as if, you know, in the early 90s, then when we had more and more influx of foreign players, I always used to, we'd have arguments with your mates or football fans, and it would be like, you know, we don't like it. Why do foreign players come over here and all they do is just dive? Like, we're English. We don't do this. Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of English players are very, very good at it. Now, I was watching the game against Leeds the other night, and I watched Nathan Teller, who's 21 years old, young English player, just getting himself into the Southampton first team. And he goes through, Llorente comes across, doesn't make a challenge, and Teller tries to instigate some contact. So he basically he tries to make it look like it's a penalty. Now, he's 21 years old. How does it... He's only taking this from players that he's watched. And as a young player, I'd watch the people in and around my country and my league. The players in the Premier League, the English players in the Premier League. That's not something that's just... It's just happened to him. He's seen that, and therefore, subconsciously or consciously, he's tried to win the penalty by putting his leg into Llorente and making contact. Now, obviously, if you look at English players that are great exponents of it, Harry Kane, Jamie Vardy, Maddison, Grealish, they're the names that just stand out to me personally, who I think are really exploiting making contact, trying to make it look like it's a foul. And because of years and years of us always maybe arguing with mates about, in European football, you'd have all the games against the top European sides, and I'd be moaning because they would be wasting time. They'd be gaining free kicks when there just wasn't anything there. They'd just be going to ground, and we'd never be able to get back into the game as English clubs because they were so good at it. The sort of dark arts we talk about. Same in international football. When England would get to competitions, you'd always feel as if the opposition would be able to manipulate the time by going down and creating fouls that just weren't there. Well, English players are very good at it now. When they're going through, Harry Kane's a great example because when he backs in, and I've done this, you maybe get clattered a couple of times. You think, well, I'm not getting it when I go up for the challenge and I get clattered. So when the defender makes contact with me, I'm just gonna fall forwards and make it look like it's a foul. I've done that before to win free kicks. But Harry Kane maybe goes a step further and really kind of folds his body in, and players go over the top of him, and it looks a bit more dangerous. Also goes through, and it's this one that I think the likes of Jamie Vardy, Maddison, Grealish are exploiters of, is the one where you go through and you go to step across the defender as if you're shielding the ball, but as you step across, you just feel the contact and fall over. So you've instigated the contact. The defender hasn't come to you. You've gone to them and instigated the contact and go down, and it's a foul or a penalty. I mean, Jamie Vardy's joint top in terms of penalties won this season. And it'd be really interested to know whether... I think this is a perfect opportunity with VAR. And I think it's why it's been highlighted even more, because when we see so many of the replays and the highlights and they really slow it down and they zoom in and we watch it over and over again, as the referee should do, and certainly the VAR referees at Stockley Park will be looking at it over and over again. To me, it's so obvious when it's not a penalty. It's just so obvious. Now, whether that's because I've played or not, but friends of mine will be posting on our WhatsApp, they can see that it's not a penalty. But what do supporters want? That's what I'd be really interested to know. Do supporters want us as English players now going to a European Championship and have become very good at winning these free kicks, delaying the play, frustrating the opposition? Do we want to continue with that? or would you just not want to see it? Do we want VAR to completely stamp it out and eradicate it?
It's a great question, because I think just to briefly go through the history of this, I think that there were English divers ages ago, 60s. I mean, there were all sorts of accusations, but not at a mass level, not at a great level. There might have been one or two. And I think in Mexico 86, with the Maradona hand of gods, and the English players were praised for their fair play and how they took it and their gentlemanly conduct.
Yeah.
I think all of a sudden there was a turning point, and we started to think, as English sports fans, as England fans, actually, I don't want to win the Fair Play Award. I want to win the World Cup. So we kind of left that, stiff upper lip and let's not complain, let's get on with it, chaps. All that nonsense behind, and started. Remember, at the other end that day, Gary Lineker had a great chance to equalise. Refused to put it in with his hand, refused to cheat, refused to foul anybody because he didn't want to get booked. And it got cleared off the line. So I would rather an England striker cheated. But this is heart over head, okay? When you're involved as a supporter or a player at a football club, you will do anything to score a goal, to win a game, to give yourself the best chance of winning. That's what you'll do. That's the passion. That's tribalism. That's how it works. But when you step away from that and you look at it as a neutral and you're less emotionally involved, you have to ask the question, is it good for the game? Do we actually want the dark arts, gamesmanship? Do we want that to be punished? Or is it part of the game? Troy Deeney says, nobody blinks an eye anymore. Nobody cares about it anymore in the game. And yet there's outrage. So I'm with you to ask the question of the fans, those listening to talkSPORT right now, do you really think it'd be best for the game if we really went for it and tried to stamp out all gamesmanship, all diving, all cheating? Is that ever going to work? Is that a good thing? And on the English thing, it's been used as it's almost like a race debate at times. That if I did criticise Mo Salah for going down easy the other day, absolutely right. And, of course, there's a barrage of tweets from idiots on Twitter who say, oh, you always say this about the foreign players, never the English players. I did a top 5 divers in the Premier League about a year and a half ago. 3 of them were England internationals.
Yeah.
So it's a load of nonsense. But what we've got to accept and appreciate is that there are English players more and more doing it. I think there have been for a long time. I don't think it's a new thing, but you're right. They're becoming the best or worst at it, whichever way you want to see it. You're absolutely spot on. But when Grealish goes down easy, do Villa fans care? Or has he got the right to go down easy, Dean, because he gets kicked to ribbons every single game? Is that a factor as well?
I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. It's not your right to take it into your own hands and feel like you have to effectively win a free kick or a penalty for your side because you're constantly getting kicked. How are our referees meant to referee if players are trying to create contact, trying to act out contact? What chance have referees got if players are willing to do that to win a penalty? What hope have they got? Defenders nowadays. Defenders are not allowed to tackle. It's becoming an interception position. You cannot tackle anymore because even if you feint to go as if you're going to go, a striker's going to throw his right leg or left leg in between your legs and go down.